Do you sometimes have to talk with them about the possibility that the videos go viral, that they get a lot of comments, or is this just a very natural process where they engage with it and don't really think much about
Are you
it?
talking about the subject of the interview?
For example, but also then the interview being posted and
Yeah.
public online.
So, wait, do you mean like the person that I interviewed? Yeah, of course. I always yeah, so of course I always tell them, here's my channel, like you're gonna be on this channel. Is that okay? And some people actually like they get cold feet and they message me later, be like, actually, maybe I shouldn't have said all that. Can you not post it? Like, yeah, okay, sure. Some people will just be like, yeah, I really don't care at all. And some people, it's happened like in the comments, just like a lot of like bullying, and I'll actually feel really bad and be like, maybe I should, close the comment section or take this down. So here's my opinion. Like these people I'm interviewing, they don't have any experience content creation, right? So they don't really know what it's like to be subjected to an online presence of having an interview. They don't necessarily expect there's going to be this whole comment section possibly roasting them, saying mean things. So it's kind of my responsibility as a content creator to make sure they're informed of the possibilities of what might happen, and if they end up being upset about it, yeah, I can take it down for them. And I've had a lot of takedown requests. Usually just like, yeah, no worries.
You said a lot of the negative comments also are directed to you. How do you handle and deal with that?
Two ways. So here's the thing. Since I'm actually not in front of the camera, I would say I don't get as much hate comments as sometimes like the subjects do or other interviewers might. But really depends. So there's a couple of types of people that I think get upset at me. I think the main one is Japanese nationalists who think I'm giving a bad image to Japan by interviewing people whose opinion they think doesn't represent Japan and is like not good, essentially. Kind of like the interview I just recently talked about. And they'll say like, yeah, they'll say things like, get out of Japan, like, why do you hate Japan? I'll be like, I don't hate Japan. I'm just interviewing these people. And sometimes I'll respond because I do respond to a lot of my comments, especially if like a hate comment triggers me. I'll like clap back at them a little bit. And especially, yeah, I asked a lot of girls about cheating culture in Japan. And I don't tell them what to say, but a lot of girls will be like, yeah, like Japanese guys cheat, and like I wouldn't date a Japanese guy because they cheat. Usually, like a lot of international girls say this also. Hey, I didn't tell them to say that, right? But it's kind of like a pattern that shows up on my video, and like some Japanese people comment like, why are you giving Japanese men a bad reputation on your contents? Like, do you hate Japanese men? Did something? I was like, no, I don't. I don't know what to say. Like, this is just a question that I think is interesting that I'm asking people. So
it's the internet blowing things out of proportion a little bit. One person's personal experience or opinion kind of taken and generalized. Some people get cold feet, is what you said a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I imagine that, you walk up to a lot of people that seem interesting, but not every single one of those interviews turns into a great story or something that is worthwhile maybe sharing. How many do you have to film or that you cannot use, for example?
Yeah, so there's a couple of patterns. Sometimes the person says yes to an interview, but during the interview, I could tell they didn't know what they signed up for. So their answers are getting kind of like timid and they don't really have much to say. So I'm like, hey, we can end the interview. Don't worry about it. Like, thanks for participating. And I won't use that footage. That happens sometimes. Sometimes I think the interview actually was very good, but they overshared in the interview. Because sometimes, like, my interviews are actually usually very fun. Like I said, I'm entertaining. So I do get people to say a lot of stuff on camera just because it's interesting. And then they'll realize, like later they'll realize, oh, maybe I've said too much and text me. Or maybe not even said too much. Sometimes they're like, oh, I forgot, like, I actually was pretending not to be out at this hour. Like, I don't ask them like follow-up questions like, oh yeah, like I wasn't, no one was supposed to know I was here, so could you please not post that interview? I'm like, hey, yeah, no worries. But for all kinds of reasons, someone might ask me to do a takedown, or maybe they were like too drunk or something, which happens. So yeah, just send me a DM.